Quinn and her boss played poker all night, but didn't give a clear answer. The boss has plenty of ways to make her come willingly. Just as Quinn rushed to the office to report on her work, she was pinned against the wall by her boss and forced into a kiss, leaving Quinn helpless. The more she struggled, the tighter he held her. He suddenly lifted Quinn onto his shoulder. Quinn begged him in fear to put her down. The boss placed her on the windowsill. The boss suddenly grabbed her hand. He knelt on one knee to massage Quinn's ankle. The boss's deeply affectionate gaze made it impossible for Quinn to refuse. She took the initiative to lean in for a kiss. Jung Yoonjin didn't expect her to take the bait so quickly. The two looked into each other's eyes with deep affection. She softly and sweetly called out, "Team leader." He let out a meaningful smile. Quinn also knew that if she struggled or pushed him away, he would definitely not force or compel her into doing such a thing. The boss's hand rested on Quinn's thigh. Quickly lifting her skirt, Quinn let him do as he pleased. Because of depression and loneliness, she didn't want to think about those terrible things. Trembling, and that night's poker touch, she felt very good about it. Now she could no longer find any reason to refuse him. The boss tugged at his tie. At this moment, colleagues outside the office door were looking for Quinn. Quinn was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat, but it was right in the middle of happening. The boss came to his senses. He felt that no matter what couldn't be done here, but anywhere else would be fine. But Quinn refused. The more the boss restrained himself, the more Quinn wanted to do it. Seeing that she didn't mind, the boss put more strength into it. However, Quinn couldn't handle it anymore. The boss's face flushed red with embarrassment. "Didn't you like it so much last time that you cried? Didn't you like it so much last time that you cried?" Flirting and being romantic with the boss in the office. Just as the romantic atmosphere reached its peak, the boss held himself back. Seeing that the secretary didn't refuse, he put a bit more force into it, making Quinn so shy that she didn't dare to make eye contact. The man pinched her pretty cheeks, making her look at him with a pitiful and delicate look on her face, which made Jung Yoonjin want to possess her even more. With a gentle kiss, Quinn could only comply, letting him do as he pleased. An hour later, Quinn picked up her fallen work badge. The boss also let her go out. Quinn's initiative was beyond his imagination. Even if it was just a temporary relationship, he still wouldn't refuse her, just before he could pull himself together. He savored the memory of the kiss on the corner of his lips, watching Quinn's figure through the window blinds, just letting oneself enjoy it completely. Jin Yoonjin was merely using Quinn as a way to relieve his nightmares. At this time, Quinn returned to her office desk. She completely failed to notice that her stockings were torn. It was her close friend who kindly reminded her. By now, her face was completely flushed with embarrassment. It was all because of how violent and tense it was earlier. She came to the washroom looking at her red and burning cheeks in the mirror. Her body felt as if it was burning in a big fire. Quinn and her boss were engaging in intimate acts in the office. After it was over, the stockings were torn, punctured, spotted by her colleague. Her face was completely flushed with embarrassment. And having been seen by her colleague, her face was red with shame. The next day, she had just arrived at the company. She was called to the boss's office again. It was said that a project was ready for the next step. As soon as she entered, she hurriedly apologized for yesterday's impulse. One shouldn't do that kind of thing in the company. The boss stared straight at her and asked, "Are you crying?" Quinn was rubbing her eyes, claiming to just be a bit allergic to the smog. The boss put on his suit jacket, asked Quinn to go on a field assignment with him. The two stood awkwardly in the elevator without moving. Quinn stared intently at him without blinking, just as she thought the boss had some bad intentions, noticed by the boss. "If you're curious about something, why don't you ask if I take you to do something bad? What will you do?" Quinn turned her head and whispered softly, "You wouldn't do that?" The boss glanced at her out of the corner of his eye, chuckled, let out a soft laugh. "You seem to trust me too much." Quinn's heart skipped a beat. Arrived at the restaurant and ordered a table full of side dishes. The boss motioned for her to eat. "Eat up, help yourself. Eat as much as you like." Seeing Quinn pick up a piece of meat with her chopsticks, the boss looked at her with a smile. The boss couldn't help but say to Quinn, "You seem to be a picky eater." Quinn was puzzled. Is coming out on field duty just simply to have a meal? Seeing that she looked half dead, completely exhausted, he decided to bring her here for a big meal. Besides, he also had other things to tell Quinn. He was seen tugging firmly at his tie. A message just arrived on Quinn's phone, and as she was about to check it, she was stopped by her boss, tugging hard at the tie once again, then blurted out, "Date me." Let's date. The handsome yet perverse boss forces Quinn to date him, just because he wants to do many things with his subordinate. For example, in the pantry, meeting room, or restroom. Hearing this request, she calmly and slowly wipes her mouth. The boss's gaze became increasingly sharp, slapped the table, and said, "Answer me quickly." Quinn expressed, "This is not something that should be discussed after calling me out during work hours." He scratched his head impatiently. "You look so tired, that's why I called you out to rest." She nervously clutched her skirt out of fear, but sitting face to face with the boss, she felt mentally even more exhausted. The boss was seen pressing further and closer and firmly grabbed Quinn's hand. It felt like it would snap with just a little force. Quinn forcefully shook off his hand. "I doubt you. Doubt whether you are worthy of my trust and reliance. Could it be that you think I am someone without selfish motives and just an employee who only radiates goodwill?" The boss reached out and stroked Quinn's hair. "Date me, fall in love with me." At this moment, Quinn's face was completely flushed with embarrassment and rejected him decisively once again. The boss couldn't understand why. "No matter what I say, you don't believe anything." He lifted Quinn's chin. "Someone outside of a normal romantic relationship can also." He leaned in closer and said, "There are many things I want you to do in different places." Quinn hurriedly clarified that she is a conservative, reserved person. That day was just an accident. Saying so, she pushed her boss's hand away because she couldn't let down her guard to get close to him. Obviously, the boss was not satisfied with this answer. She grew increasingly fearful in the face of her boss's advances. The boss couldn't understand why nothing he said was believed, but Quinn felt that there was a lot to learn from her boss. "But that doesn't mean I have to fall in love with you, and I myself am a boring person." Hearing this, the boss burst into a chuckle. "I've actually found you quite interesting lately." Saying that, the boss turned and left, telling Quinn to think it over carefully. After returning to the office, the phone kept ringing continuously. She was bombarded with calls and messages from unknown numbers on screen. "Quinn, answer the phone. Quinn, please answer. I'm begging you, okay?" Unbelievably, this entire masterpiece was being controlled by her boss. After setting it up, the boss secretly spied on Quinn's every move through the window, just as he had planned. Quinn must be suffering a lot right now, until it was time to get off work. But Quinn's phone was still ringing. She was really getting a severe headache from all this. Jung Yoon-jin's confession made her feel deeply uncomfortable inside. Unbelievably, this entire masterpiece was controlled by her boss. When she reached her front door, the hallway was pitch black. She heard someone stalking behind her. Panicking, she hurriedly pressed the door lock password after barely managing to get inside her home before she could even catch her breath. Turning her head to look outside the door, a masked person was standing there, completely motionless. She heard a blade scraping against the wall. She covered her mouth, too afraid to make a sound, but her phone kept ringing continuously. The man suddenly started swearing. "I know you're inside." He kept kicking the room door repeatedly and violently. Realizing the situation, Quinn tried to call the police. She heard the man continuously shouting Quinn's name. Quinn was in disbelief. How did he know her name? Trembling with fear, Quinn picked up her phone. The man was already trying to break in using an electric drill. She dialed her boss's number. Jung Yoon-jin heard her stuttering with a tearful voice. Quinn begged her boss to come over, explaining that there was a criminal outside her door. Meanwhile, text messages kept flooding into her phone continuously. "I couldn't call the police, so I could only call you." Every time Quinn found herself in danger, her boss was always able to show up just in time, all because everything was a scheme calculated by her boss just to win her over. Terrified, Quinn hid trembling in the corner of the bathroom. The moment her boss arrived felt like salvation to her, and just like that, he successfully got Quinn to move into his house. At this point, she had still not recovered from the shock. Curled up on the sofa, trembling continuously, the boss told her to go back to the room and sleep on the bed. But Queen felt more secure this way. She couldn't stop trembling, recalling what just happened. Yet she doesn't want to remember anything, only knowing that it was as if Jung Yoon-jin wanted to redeem her. Reached out with a warm hand. Soon after, the boss carried her back to the room, thoughtfully covered her with the blanket. Comforting Queen not to be afraid, the boss frowned. "You make me very worried like this." Gently caressing her, Queen quietly closed her eyes and dozed off for a while. The boss, noticing this, told her to continue lying down. Queen slowly sat up, and the boss was slightly annoyed. "If you don't listen to me, I'm going to scold you." Saying this, he pressed her down. Jung Yoon-jin was seen lying half reclined, staring straight at Queen. "Is a warm waterbed better than an electric blanket?" Queen is confused. Jung Yoon-jin continued, saying he bought a humidifier and also air freshener. Queen realized that he intended for her to stay permanently. She hurriedly got up, telling him there was no need for this. "After this weekend, I will go home." He was seen furrowing his brows deeply. "You still want to go back? That dangerous place?" The scheming boss tries every possible way to live together with his beautiful female subordinate. Hired someone to smash her door to create danger. The phone-controlling Queen can only call his number, so this is why he can always arrive whenever Queen encounters danger. That day, he got his wish and lay on the same bed with her. The boss had already bought the thing she needed in advance. Queen does not intend to stay long term. After this weekend, I will go back to that home. The boss looks displeased. He held her hand and scrutinized her. Such a slender wrist, it would break with just a snap. Listen to me, pulled Queen into a tight embrace. The chill that had been surrounding Queen disappeared in an instant. She did not resist his touch, even though she clearly knew she shouldn't do this. The boss felt Queen trembling constantly. He covered her with the quilt, saying, "I'm just holding you. Don't tremble, as if I'm about to eat you." He suddenly leaned in close to Queen's ear. The breath from his respiration hit her face, making her blush and her heart race. The boss gave her a sweet kiss, so obedient, really cute, hugged her tightly. Queen was also slowly feeling his warmth. The next day, the boss deliberately provoked Queen's arch-rival, let the bespectacled man vent his aggression on Queen. At this moment, Queen was looking for a house. Suddenly, a phone call came in. The other person mentioned that they also have a daughter, heard about Queen's situation, specifically requested the security guard to check the surveillance footage. Queen suddenly felt a chill down her spine. The surveillance shows a tall man in a suit walking back and forth at the door. Why does this figure look so much like the boss?